Hey everyone, Conor for Forge Intelligence here, and today's topic is going to be exercise selection. So this is going to be a two-part series, basically out of necessity. So part one is going to deal with, this video is going to deal with making sure that your exercises aren't working against you, making sure they're not bad, which is actually the first part of good exercise selection. And then part two is going to get onto more of the applicable things that make, some exercises really good. So today is basically about making sure they're not bad. Right, so the first thing you need to sort of consider, or basically with choosing this exercise is, does this exercise line up with my goal? Will the stimulus I get from this exercise line up with the adaptation I want? Incredibly important, yet something people really don't consider a lot of. So I'm trying to get X training effect in this particular muscle. Why am I doing another training effect in that muscle? Or why am I doing something not even for that muscle? Really something that actually happens a lot. So the next part is probably more of a limiting factor thing, which is make sure the target tissue, let's say it's a hypertrophy setting or even a strength setting, is the limiting factor you want. So the first thing is make sure that stability is a limiting factor. So, okay, let's say you're trying to get your strength up or your quads bigger and you choose to do a Bosu ball squat. Limiting factor will become an issue in that exercise before the actual percentage of 1 rem that you can handle on that given muscle will ever be in that exercise. So it's going to sort of fail you before the loads even get heavy enough for a meaningful training effect in the stuff you want. There's plenty of exercises that are being popularized by girls on Instagram, but and guys as well, that sort of don't hit this sort of thing. So for example, what's one? People using the assisted dip to sort of do a push down with the foot. Sort of variation of a step up instead of you stepping yourself up onto that dip machine, you're sort of putting weight on the side and sort of driving it down. Well, the stability of that exercise is going to become a limiting factor before the force you can drive. With laws of equal and opposite reaction, unless you can somehow find a way to get a really good grip, it will become a limiting factor. You're sort of going to go for a burn effect, but not really get the effective reps before stuff becomes an issue. There's probably a million other things I can do here, but make sure, stability isn't the issue, the muscle is. A really good shit test for this is with all the exercises you do in the gym, pick a weight that, will be a 6 rep max. And if that muscle or the muscle isn't close to the limiting factor, then it's probably ineffective. For example, we're trying to squat for your quads, I might ignore that if the glutes or the lower back is the first one, because you're still getting good training effect through your quads. But stability isn't the limiting factor. So try whatever hippie exercise you've tried. Try and do it for a 6 RM. If you can be honest with yourself and say, you know what, that muscle was completely limiting factor, then you're already going halfway there. Other thing is to make sure it's not other muscles. Just because the function of that muscle is performing that exercise doesn't mean it's loaded the most during the exercise. Doesn't mean it's loaded appropriately in the spots you want, blah, blah, blah. That'll be something that sort of tails towards the next topic, which is the next video. But make sure the muscle you're trying to train / the movement you're trying to train is a limiting factor again. The next thing is quite obvious, but make sure it doesn't hurt you. Make sure it doesn't put in you positions where, you get a wear effect or just injury at the time. Those things are never worth it. It's just, you spend so much time rehabbing that, and it was all for that one exercise. So probably not worth ticking. Make sure the exercise fit you. If it's a machine, make sure it fits you. Make sure you got all the prerequisites for that exercise, and then it's gonna be a better exercise for you. The last thing is, again, make sure it sort of hits the intensity threshold. So your muscles need a certain amount of effect from the exercise. Again, it is limiting factor, which sort of ties into that stability thing before. So so look through all these. Make sure pretty much all your exercises tick these boxes. I don't see any reasons why all of them should. And make sure you can get, the desired training effect you want from that. Sometimes it's not strength, sometimes it's mobility, sometimes it's stability, whatever. But make sure it's the effect you want. And make sure all these things line up to make sure, that the muscle you want is the one getting work the most / movement.